Let's get right into it. Number 10. Costco without a membership. You know that smug feeling Costco members get when they flash their little card at the door? You don't need one. Because of state and federal health regulations, Costco pharmacies are open to everyone. No exceptions, no membership required, and Costco has a pharmacy inside every single one of their stores. Legally, they cannot stop you from walking in. You just walk up, say, "I'm here for the pharmacy," and you're in. Once you're inside, the pharmacy is all the way in the back. The rest of the store is just kind of there, right in front of you. The giant muffins, the $5 rotisserie chickens, the 48-pack of paper towels, all of it. Now, you technically need a membership to buy most things at the register, but here's the loophole. Costco gift cards, called shop cards, can be purchased by anyone. Get someone with a membership to buy you a gift card, and you can pay with that at checkout. People have been doing this for years without ever paying for a membership. Number 9. Free car repairs through technical service Bulletin loopholes. Your car breaks down. You take it to the dealer. They quote you $1,200. You cry a little inside. There's a good chance that repair should have been completely free, and the dealer knows it. They're just hoping you don't. Car manufacturers quietly put out something called a technical service bulletin, or TSB. A TSB is basically the automaker admitting that something in your car is broken because they built it wrong. A TSB is different from a recall. A recall means the government forced the company to fix an active safety hazard. A TSB means the company quietly admitted a systemic problem exists, but told nobody. Even if your warranty expired, manufacturers will often still cover the repair for free if you know the TSB exists and you push for it. To find these bulletins, go to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration database at nhtsa.gov. They have a free database of every TSB ever filed. Once you find a relevant TSB, print it out, bring it to the dealer and say these exact words: "I'd like this repair covered under the technical service bulletin." If they push back, call the manufacturer's customer service line directly, not the dealer, the actual company. Manufacturers have goodwill repairs, money set aside specifically for situations like this. They'd rather quietly fix your car than have you go online and tell everyone their engines fall apart. Number 8. Free prescription drugs from the manufacturer. Almost every major drug company in America has a program that gives their medications away completely free, not discounted, free. It's called a patient assistance program. You've never heard of it because nobody in the system benefits from telling you about it. Your doctor gets paid the same either way. Your pharmacist definitely doesn't benefit. And the drug company isn't exactly running Super Bowl ads about it. The income limits are higher than most people think. A single person making up to $60,000 a year can qualify for some of these programs. A family of 4 can qualify at even higher income levels. You don't have to be broke, you just have to apply. One single page stands between you and a $0 pharmacy bill. To find these programs, go to needymeds.org or rxassist.org. Type in the name of your medication, and the program for that specific drug will come up. The biggest drugs covered include insulin, cancer medications, and antidepressants. Novo Nordisk, the company that makes Ozempic, even has a program that gives it away free to qualifying patients. Ozempic currently costs around $900 a month at the pharmacy, free, one form. Number 7. The unsolicited goods jackpot. The FTC has a rule. If a company sends you something you never ordered, you can legally keep it for free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to send it back. You don't even have to feel bad about it. The company made the mistake. You just get a free blender. This is a federal law called the Unordered Merchandise Law. It exists because companies used to pull a nasty trick. They'd mail you something random, send you a bill for it, and if you didn't pay, they'd send it to collections. Congress stepped in and said no. If you send someone something they didn't ask for, that's a gift now. Amazon has a known problem called brushing. Fake sellers send random people real packages so they can post fake verified purchase reviews on their own products. People have received everything from Bluetooth speakers to full sets of kitchen knives. The only catch is the item has to be truly unsolicited. If you signed up for a free trial and forgot about it, that's on you. But if a random box shows up with your name on it and you never ordered it, that's yours. The company cannot legally demand it back. They cannot charge you for it. They cannot send you threatening letters about it. If they do, they're breaking the law. Number 6. The educational use software Jackpot. AutoCAD, the software architects use to design buildings, costs $2,000 a year. Microsoft Office costs $100 a year. Every single one of those has a free student version. Most community colleges let you enroll in a single non-credit course for somewhere between $50 and $150. A one-time pottery class, a Tuesday night cooking workshop, an intro to journaling seminar. You sign up, you get a student email address. You use that email to unlock thousands of dollars worth of software for free for as long as you're enrolled. Autodesk, the company behind AutoCAD, gives students access to basically their entire software library, every single product, free, for a year or more. GitHub gives students a package called the GitHub Student Developer Pack. It includes hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of professional developer tools. For a student email you got from a pottery class, Microsoft gives students Office 365 completely free, not a trial, not a limited version, the full thing. This is completely legal. These companies set up these programs on purpose. The idea is that if students learn their software in school, they'll pay for it when they graduate. It's a long-term marketing strategy. The only rule is that you generally can't use the software for commercial work while on the student license. But if you're learning a new skill or building a personal project, you're completely fine. Number 5. The gift card balance payout. You probably have a junk drawer somewhere in your house with a few old gift cards sitting in it. Each one has maybe $1 or $2 left on it. In several US states, those cards are actually worth real cash money, not store credit, actual dollars you can put in your wallet. Some states have what are called gift card escapement laws. California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Oregon, and Washington all have versions of this law. If your gift card balance falls below a certain amount, you can walk into the store and demand cash back. In California, that threshold is just under $10. In New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Colorado, it's $5. Retailers are not always happy about this. Some will try to tell you it's not possible. Some will act confused. Some will just flat out say no. But if you're in one of these states, you are legally entitled to that cash. Print out the relevant state law before you go and show it to the manager if you have to. They will eventually hand over the money, because the alternative is breaking the law. These laws exist because states noticed retailers were making billions of dollars every year from balances that customers never used. It's called breakage, and it's basically free money for the store. These states decided that was not okay. Number 4. The auto parts store tool loan. Most people don't know this exists. Walk into an AutoZone, O'Reilly, or Advance Auto Parts, and you can borrow specialty tools for free, not rent. Borrow. You pay a deposit, use the tool, bring it back, get your money back. Every single dollar. We're talking tools that would cost you hundreds of dollars to buy. Brake caliper compressors, ball joint presses, fuel line disconnect kits, harmonic balancer pullers. That last one sounds like a medieval torture device, but it's actually for your engine. There is no rule saying you have to buy anything from the store. You can walk in, pay the deposit, grab the tool, fix your car in your driveway, return the tool, and leave with your money. The stores do this because they want you inside the building. They're betting you'll buy something while you're there. A filter, some oil, maybe a snack from the front counter. Sometimes the bet pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, the tool loan is yours to freely use. The deposit amounts are sometimes wild. A professional engine timing kit can have a deposit of over $300, so technically you could be standing in a parking lot with $300 worth of borrowed equipment, legally, with a receipt. The only catch is you have to bring the tool back in the same condition. But if you're careful, this program is basically a free professional tool library, sitting right there on the corner of every major intersection in America. Number 3. The airline overbooking bonanza. Airlines sell more tickets than there are seats on the plane, on purpose, every single day. They do this because statistically, some people always miss their flight. When too many people show up and there aren't enough seats, the airline has a problem, and that problem is your opportunity. In the US, there's a federal law called the DOT Denied Boarding Compensation Rule. It says that if an airline bumps you from a flight involuntarily, they owe you money, not a voucher, not a coupon, actual cash. If your replacement flight gets you to your domestic destination between 1 and 2 hours late, they owe you 200% of your one-way ticket price, up to $775. If you arrive more than 2 hours late, that jumps to 400% of your one-way fare, up to $1,550. So if you paid $300 for a ticket, and they bump you and your new flight lands 3 hours late, they legally owe you $1,200. For sitting in an airport, before airlines bump anyone involuntarily, they have to ask for volunteers first. If you're flexible, you can say yes, and then negotiate. That first offer is almost never the best offer. The trick is knowing that gate agents have a ceiling they can offer, and they almost never start there. The closer it gets to departure with no volunteers, the more desperate they get, and desperate airlines are generous airlines. Number 2. Free museum entry via library passes. Your library card is basically a skeleton key that nobody told you about. Thousands of public libraries across the US have partnerships with local museums, zoos, aquariums, and cultural centers. You walk up to the library desk, hand over your library card, and walk out with free passes to places that normally charge $25 to $40 per person. No tricks, no fine print. The program is called the Museum Adventure Pass in some cities, and Culture Passes in others, but almost every major library system has some version of it. New York Public Library gives cardholders free access to places like the Bronx Zoo and the New York Botanical Garden. The Boston Public Library has passes to over 80 cultural institutions. These passes are actually funded by the museums themselves, because once you're inside, you're buying the overpriced gift shop magnets and the $7 hot dogs. So you're not really beating the system. You're just skipping the part where they charge you to walk through the door. The catch is that passes are limited. Most libraries only have a few copies, and you have to reserve them in advance. So go to your library's website, look for a tab that says Museum Passes or Culture Passes, and book one before someone else does. Number 1. Free money from unclaimed property databases. Right now, there is money sitting in a government database with your name on it. Not a scam, not a trick, actual money. Every single state in the US has a database full of unclaimed cash, bank accounts people forgot about, insurance payouts that never got picked up, tax refunds that got sent to an old address, uncashed payroll checks. The total amount sitting in these databases across the US is over $70 billion. When a company can't find you to give you your money, they don't get to keep it. They have to hand it over to the state. The state holds it for you, forever. The website is missingmoney.com. It is officially endorsed by the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators and searches multiple states at once. You can also go directly to your state's official unclaimed property website. Check every name you've ever gone by, your maiden name, a nickname. Check your parents' names too. Check your grandparents' names. The claim process is simple. You fill out a form online. You prove you are who you say you are. They mail you a check or direct deposit the funds. The government is not going to call you about this. They're just going to sit on your money quietly until you come looking for it. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.